How's it going, everyone? It's GadgetsBoy. Welcome to another video. In this one, we're going to be taking a look at the latest Xiaomi 13 Pro from the 13 series. It's powered by Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 and it's also got that Leica collaboration for the camera. But is it actually worth it? Let's find out. This is my first impressions. So here we are. It's got this nice glossy back. I don't know how I feel about that just yet, but if you don't want to use that glossy back, it does come with a silicone case in the packaging as well. This supports 120 watts hypercharge, which means you'll be able to charge this up very quickly. It has this 3D bioceramic design on the back, and if you look at the front, we have Corning Gorilla Glass Victus, so not the Victus Plus or the Victus 2, just got the standard Victus on the front. And we have this curved edges on the design. I'm not a fan of curved edges, but it looks good at the end of the day, which is not bad at all. On the side, we have our volume control and a power button situated just there. And if you go up top, we have our IR blaster microphone situated at the top as well. We don't see many phones these days with IR blaster on there for remote control, but most Chinese brands do tend to have them these days. On the bottom, we have our speaker grill, USB-C port, and your SIM card tray on there as well. By the way, this is the black version, which looks really nice actually. I think this would be the one I'd go for if I was to buy one of these. In terms of the display, we have a WQHD Plus 6.73-inch AMOLED display, which looks fantastic. This is OLED, so all the blacks look really good. Color accuracy is good as well. In fact, they say this is 100% ready in terms of your sRGBs and DCI-P3, that kind of stuff. We have a Pro HDR display. It's got Dolby Vision, HDR10 Plus support, and HDR10 as well. In terms of peak brightness, we're looking at 1200 nits of peak brightness. And like I said already, in terms of refresh rate, we're looking at 120 hertz refresh rate on there, which is great for you gaming, so you'll be able to have a smoother flow in terms of refresh and the display on there. In terms of the display, it looks very sharp and accurate as well. In terms, this is 100% P3 color gamut ready. It has over 1 billion colors, so there's lots of vibrancy going on here, and we're looking at 1200 nits of peak brightness, so you can use it in bright sunlight. It's not as bright as the S23 Ultra, but it's still pretty much bright. This is OLED, so it has E6 OLED material in there, and this is AMOLED display with 120 hertz refresh rates as well. So great for gaming, nice and bright, and nice and colorful, and color accurate as well. If you're going to be editing photos or editing videos on here, you'll be able to do that. Whilst we're up front as well, let's not forget the front-facing camera right at the front there, up top. We have a 32 megapixel in-display selfie camera, and this is f2.0, and it has HDR as well, got night mode support and portrait mode support as well. Flipping it to the back, let's talk about this Leica camera that Xiaomi are going for here. We have a 23mm in terms of focal length of f1.9 aperture main camera, and that's a 50 megapixel wide angle camera. It has the Sony IMX 989 sensor, and what's great about this is we have that 1-inch sensor as well as the Leica collaboration. It will do 8K video recording. You can record Dolby Vision in up to 4K at 60 frames per second. You have ultra night mode on there as well. Next, we have that 75mm 50 megapixel telephoto lens at f2.0. It has a Leica floating telephoto camera. What that means is basically you'll be able to zoom in without that jerky move in between. It's f2.0 with optical image stabilization, and it has focal shift technology in there as well. Next, we have that ultra wide angle lens. It's also 50 megapixel, which I'm happy about. It has f2.2 aperture, again using that Leica collaboration, and it will give you 14mm in terms of focal length, and it's 115 degrees field of view. So I can't wait to put this to the test, and it should give us some nice bokeh as well with those aperture that we have on there. In terms of the charger, I think we mentioned this already. We have 120 watts hypercharge in there, which is really good. You can charge that very quickly. But whilst we're on charging, we have 4,820 milliamp hour battery, and that supports 50 watts wireless turbocharging and 10 watts reverse wireless charging as well. In terms of audio, we have dual speakers, and like I said already, we have Dolby Atmos support, which is pretty decent. For performance, we're looking at the latest Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 in there. So this is efficient, is good in terms of performance as well. So we've seen all the benchmarks that's gone around already for some of the devices that are running 8 Gen 2, and they're looking promising. So this should also be one of those promising devices as well. In terms of storage, you're looking at up to 512 gigabytes of storage, and regardless of which one you go for, you would get 12 gigabytes of RAM, which is plenty. And you can also take some of the RAM as well from the internal storage in there. There's no micro SD card expansion slot in here, unfortunately, but 512 gigabytes is a lot to store all your photos and all that kind of stuff. It's also running on the MIUI 14.0.11. As part of the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 as well, we also get Wi-Fi 7. So if you have the compatible infrastructure, you'll be able to have fast, super fast Wi-Fi speeds. For security, we have fingerprint unlock, which is pretty responsive. So if I lock this, unlock, lock it, unlock, very fast. And we also have face unlock as well if you choose to use that. Loading up the camera app, let's look at the interface. So right at the bottom there, we have all the different modes available, documents, videos, photos, etc. In photo, we can do ultra wide angle there, we can do standard, got 2 times optical, and we can even go 3.2 times as well. These will be great for those portrait shots as well. If we look up top, we have the Leica modes. So we have vibrant or authentic. So authentic is more natural look if you want to go for that. And then we have AI right at the top. So this will allow you to analyze the situation and give you the best shots possible. We have HDR up there as well. This 3-line here gives us more options. So we can choose different aspect ratios. We can choose self-timer. We've got that tilt shift option there, super macro, and so on. We go into settings. We can add watermark if you want to add watermark, something I don't do myself. Auto night mode is there as well. And then picture quality, select those as well. So different options there for you to go through and select what you prefer. Go back out into our camera interface. We go to video, see what options we have. Again, you can choose different focal lengths. Right at the bottom there, we've got our aperture for the bokeh. So we can go up to f16 there, go all the way down to f1.0 right at the bottom there. And then we go to menu up top there, well, the 3 dot at the top. We have 1080p at 30 frames per second there. But if I come out of this first, go back up, we can go up to 8K at 24 frames per second. So it's not quite the 8K 30 frames per second we get on the S23 Ultra, for example, but 24 frames per second is still pretty good. We can shoot 4K at up to 60 frames per second, so you can slow things down after the fact if you wish to do so. One thing that's really cool as well for content creators is you do have a teleprompter there as well. So that way you can look as if you know what you're talking about while you're looking at the camera, which is cool, right? And then we go across, we've got night mode, we've got portrait mode as well. Portrait mode, you can adjust the aperture again. You can choose different filter, so like swirly bokeh effect, portrait effect. These are all the Leica filters that they've added as well. So you can go up top again, change the vibrancy and so on. You also have full body mode as well in portrait, which is pretty cool. It just means you get nice separation between the body and the background if you're going to be doing that. And then we're going to more to see what else we have. We have that full 50 megapixel mode, so you can get high resolution photos, which allows you to shoot in ultra wide, 1 and 3.2 times as well. That's pretty neat because most of them don't allow you to do different focal length. They just stick to 1, and that's not what we want. But because we have that triple camera, which are all 50 megapixel, it means you'll be able to shoot 50 megapixel in with all the lenses, which is great. Go back to more. You see clone, so you can clone your people in shots, so you can get creative as well. So I feel like Xiaomi gives you loads of creative options on there. You've got Super Moon as well, which I'll be testing out and comparing that to the S23 Ultra. Make sure you subscribe because actually we're going to be doing a comparison between this and the S23 Ultra as well. The screen, you can move things around as well, so depending on what you prefer to shoot, you can move them around and put that there as well. But that's pretty much about it with the camera interface. In fact, let's go selfie and see what's there. Say hi there. Click that little line. We can change aspect ratio again. We've got palm shutter, voice shutter is there as well, so you can use your voice to command it. Go into settings, same thing again, picture quality, change video format and so on. If we select palm shutter, here we can then go palm, starts counting down, and we get a photo there, which is really nice. So guys, that's it for the Xiaomi 13 Pro. As always, if this is your first time around here, please do subscribe, smash the bell notification so you get notified every time we upload a video like this one, especially the 13 Pro versus the S23 Ultra coming soon to the channel. We might chuck in an iPhone as well, maybe the Pixel 7 Pro, who knows? See you soon.